What do you mean?
Why is this using so much CPU? What in the hell is going on here?
What art thou talking about? A boot. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I don't know. Just don't know. What's up, everybody?
All right, that's down to 6K OBP. Yep, 6K BALP. Yeah, but how quick? Not quick enough. Is he jacking it? Who?
Right.
Who's jacking it?
Oh, I guess you probably want to see that shit on the screen. That's what you're talking about. That's what you meant.
Yeah, earlier. Ha 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 ha.
Like this?
Yeah. That's how. Yeah, no, how you normally do it. Exactly right.
Hey, we're both wearing our...
Well...
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'm doing it again. God damn it. This is getting to be a problem.
I don't know how you do it. Why don't you just raise your, desk up? Up.
What?
Why don't you just go up?
I'm trying, but it ain't working.
I wonder why.
This is going to be a bummer. Come on, man. Come on!
Everett fucked the desk up again. What, are you coming over here?
I'm just plugging my shit. Oh. Maybe strangle you with a cord. I don't know.
I don't see it happening. No. Oh, we could do me on that side, you on that side.
What are you talking about? No,
if you wanted to move so the table was up.
No. God, no. No!
Was Triple G robbed last night?
You didn't watch?
Yeah. Oh, I watched highlights.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't watch.
No, I didn't. I'm not buying that fucking pay-per-view. It's boxing. I'll watch the highlights though. Yes. Earthquake.
Hey, do you have the dock up?
Yeah.
Can you print it? Brandy's printed at the same time?
Oh, yes, I sure can.
You better.
Put it in.
184 is a splinter cell. I'm going to eradicate it. I've decided. I got nothing.
So Brandy's, which is the Samsung Universal.
We need to reunite with 184. Bring 184 back to the main people. They've splintered off. I decided it's not good.
It's a terrorist organization?
It's not terrorist, but it's
It should be printing, so
I'm gonna check that out. You 2 copies?
Huh. No. Two copies now. That third page is kind of useless. Is that better?
Okay.
Did you get it?
I got it.
Did you get the third page though?
Yeah, the South splintered for a reason too, Jess. I guess it was easier to just start a whole new thing to fix the problem. I don't know. Yo, Marissa.
It's Marissa's birthday today. Do you know that?
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday. I saw that on the Facebooks.
Happy birthday, Marissa. And what?
I don't know.
What happened last night? I jumped into your lobby and you never showed, and then you disappeared. I was not.
What's been on Xbox?
Oh yeah, I probably left Halo up while we came up to the office and played PUBG. It's likely what happened. You guys need to move the printer closer.
Really? It's only like 20 foot.
It's not in the room, I mean, but yeah. Sorry, Jay, though. Yeah, I probably left Halo up, and then I came up here and we played PlayerUnknown Battleground.
It was fun.
Hell yeah, the game's fun. Should play another one before we leave.
Maybe. Almost ready. You almost ready?
Oh, okay, faux show. I'm red eye.
Yeah. Is that better? Give it another minute or two and we'll go.
Oh, that's right. Is that right? South will rise again. That's just dangerous talk.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Oh, man. 742 subscribers. We're almost to 750, 750. So, I mean, could be a pinnacle benchmark there, you know. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, what are you doing with your life?
I saw something about that, Rennie.
Yeah, the 23rd it's supposed to end again. I hope not.
Yeah, I don't want it to end.
No, I got shit to do in October. So it's supposed to end all the time. I've been playing Rainbow Six on PC lately. Nice, Skin Dog, nice. And you like that one? Congrats, Eric, on the new career change. Hope find satisfaction in this one. I can find satisfaction in a lot of stuff, but yeah, there'll definitely be satisfaction. And Nibiru is coming. Thank you, Jay, for that.
Nibiru, isn't he an honorary Anunnaki?
Jay is an honorary Anunnaki. Yeah, he chills with Nibirians.
Yeah.
Nibirians.
Planet X like a motherfucker.
Uh-huh. Planet X Peoples is my dog. Love the show, you guys. Well, we love you too, the Texan.
I wonder where that guy's from.
I don't know. Could be like a clever nickname. He's probably really from
Chicago.
Yeah, Ohio.
We got a lot of Ohioans. It's our second most populous state.
Is it?
Yeah. Maybe California.
That's probably because Jay goes and he does the groundwork. You know, he puts boots to the fucking concrete and starts putting our name out there.
Hey, somebody out there in the chat, go restart that whole "Where are you from?" poll on the group real quick. Just curious. We've got a shit ton more people. Let's do it again.
Yeah, with the "Where are you from?" poll.
Yeah, whoever does it, I'll sticky it. Not like that. Not like that.
Not like that. That was a chick that was The Matrix. Not like this.
Yeah. What was her name? It wasn't Cypher. Cypher's the asshole.
Switch. It was Switch.
All right. We'll give it another 1 minute. We'll go. What's the first most popular state? Illinois.
Imagine that. All right, start this shit up. Let's do this.
No.
Hell no, I'm deep in the heart.
The stars at light
are so big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Reminds me of the land I love. Deep in the heart.
That's our clap
Texas.
test.
Yeah.
New Assassin's Creed.
October. Is there?
I don't know.
I didn't
play
know that either. I didn't know that either.
I don't do single player that much.
So all of us to post something, you should elect someone, not it.
Ooh, there we go. Anybody who says it.
And like a G.
First person that says it.
Yes, I do tell people, but they never see me again. Ooh. Let's start this shit up.
All right. Yeah.
Why doesn't my... Oh, yeah, 13.
We connect over. I forgot to connect up to the recording computer, so all I got to do is hit enter, hit record, and we'll be good.
Okay, so, all right, right on.
Beautiful bean footage will be rolled, if that's what you're wondering. You ready?
Jay, just so you know, did you see what Everett posted on my Facebook timeline this morning? I killed him with a shotgun.
I tagged him.
Team killed in a different game. It was an accident, too, for real. It was crazy.
Sure. Anyway, you ready?
Yeah.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
I saw that. Yeah.
Something's not right, man. Something's not right. Something's bullshit here, and I don't believe it.
You know what's great is I got to set up. I showed comments. You know,
Honestly,
whatever.
this crazy
they show
shit
up
could
in
be
the chat
completely
anyway
possible.
because it's on the screen.
Disclaimer,
Beautiful.
we reserve the right to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. You think you know the whole story? Think again. Think again.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
Welcome to Surreal Talk, look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal, a lineupmedia.fm production.
That it is.
And we are back this week, just the same as we are every week, except it's not the same. We're here on a Sunday this week.
And it's your first official week as an employee.
Yes, my first official Surreal Talk.
You know what's kind of crazy is the first show he does for the network as an employee isn't our show. He did the Ocho Man show the other day.
Yeah, I did. That was cool.
The Ocho Man, or search for Behind the Eight Ball if you want to hear it. It was way different than what you might hear on this show.
Yeah,
It was like Eric running wild, is kind of what it was.
that show was fun. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's definitely search.
I used
for
to be
Behind
on.
the
I
Eight
used to
Ball.
be on Behind the Eight Ball all the time.
Search for Behind the Eight
it's
Ball
interesting.
because that was fun.
So next thing on the agenda, thank you to Armand, but he wasn't here last week. It was the week before, wasn't it? You got that on the agenda? Thank Armand.
No, it was this week in history. Yeah, he was definitely. He wasn't on our show, but we wanted to thank him for being.
Oh, for being on his show.
Yeah,
That's
we-
right.
yeah, we
yeah,
did.
for having. Yeah, thanks, Armand.
Yeah, we did our. This
I wonder how that one did.
I don't know, but you can check out this day. In
Hopefully, our
history.
people found our episode. I got a report from somewhere they didn't put it up.
What?
That show we did. I never checked it.
This day in history.
Yeah, for the 28th, I think it was, or
They didn't put that show up.
something. Maybe the 8th. I don't know. I'm not good with days.
Wow.
I don't know. Let's see. We'll get to the other stuff at the end of the show. Let's stop right in.
I'm with it, man.
So this is the first thing we're going to talk about today on this, which I guess we should say what we're doing. This is the fourth time we're doing it, all over the place. Part 4, The Quest for Peace.
Yeah. You think anybody's gonna get that?
No.
No.
If anybody gets an email me, and I'll give you a shirt.
For sure.
No, I won't do that because you'll never get it. Sorry, Scott. Hope you're having a good day. I know you're not listening, but hope you're having a good day. Police state. What about it?
Well,
It's not the fact that there is a 51st state called police, right?
no, it's the official police state with the capital being, no, I don't have
Gestapo land?
Right. No, police state is like a term that's used to describe like a military presence, in your community. It's like, surveillance and, everything all together. You know what I mean? It's stuff they're just intrusive on your property. You've never heard the term police state? I can Google it.
Is it more
Official-
police state or the militarization of police that you're more interested in? Or is it a combo?
It's a combo.
Is one a part of the other?
Oh, I believe so. Militarization of the police is definitely right along with police state. So police state is a totalitarian state controlled by a political police force that secretly supervises the citizens' activities.
So you think that's what's going on right now? They're secretly in control.
Well, they definitely secretly supervise our activities. And if it's a political police force, so like we could say CIA
And when you
FBI.
say, as I say, whenever you say police, you don't mean the boys in blue down at the local precinct.
No.
You mean
no.
all the way up to Big Brother listening and
Yeah, now when
on
you
our phone
say
calls.
militarization of police, that's the boys in blue. But the police state, think of police as not a job and occupation, but as like an overall state, like and I don't know where I'm going with that. But don't think of it as like your cops. The police state is like the state of things. You're in a police state. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah, I follow you. So, lay it on me. What are your little tick marks here the evidence that we are living in a potentially a police state?
Well, just the types of spying that are done to us all the time. We have, video spying where digital spying, internet, and then audio spying, which is your phone calls, your text messages.
Well, we know from
they do all that
episode we did on Vault 7 that the CIA can and does, and we know from Edward Snowden, we know that they do surveil us without due process, without a warrant. They can and do. Now, what bothers you about that most? Because you're not up to anything, but what is
I'm
your
not what? Wait,
you're not up to anything that they care about.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm really not. I just don't.
What's your principle here? Because that's what this boils down to.
Let's start with privacy. What about privacy? Where did that go? What
Privacy
happened to
should
your
be
right
reasonable.
to privacy? We don't have any say what's going on in that. You know what I mean?
What you're going to hear the argument every time is the argument of privacy versus security.
And I'm going to quote somebody, and I don't remember who it was. It was one of the first few
Perfect.
presidents.
Love those cute quotes.
But if you give up your privacy for security, you deserve neither privacy or security.
Well, that sounds crazy. I mean, that just sounds crazy to me. Who find this quote?
Maybe it was
sometime.
rights, but either way, privacy's a right. So,
well, yeah, it sounds like you might give up freedom, but not your.
If you give up your rights for security, then you deserve neither to have rights.
That's what you get when you get an ad-libbed quote, though.
Yeah,
we don't know the exact.
I don't remember. But
so what you guys have written down here? Stingray technology. That's the for stealing your cell phones, right?
Yeah, They can jump off the cell towers. They can drive that van around.
Well, it's like an
anywhere,
intermediary.
whatever.
If I remember correctly from our episode on that, it acts like it is the tower you think you're connecting to and sits in as a relay. So your phone connects to it, acting like the tower that your phone's actually trying to connect to. Says it's got the same ID and not. It's like having a Wi-Fi antenna in between you and your regular router.
So they can
it's got a stronger
intercept
signal.
all of the information that you send or
Right.
receive. Yeah. So I mean that's not okay.
That's not okay.
That's not okay at all.
Woman, what's
Thomas
up?
Jefferson.
Well, thank you.
Armand.
He must be watching.
Thank you. Thomas Jefferson. I knew it was one of the first few presidents. He had to come all the way down here. I fucking knew he would know that.
That's great.
Yeah. But so the United States is more of like a managed democracy, so to speak. It's like a political form in which governments are legitimated by elections that they have learned to control secretly. I mean, and we know that right now they control the elections. There's all the stuff about people hacking into those computers, the Soros-owned computers. Definitely political. You know what I mean? Soros is pushing his agenda all the time. So do you not agree that we're like a managed democracy, that they totally?
You know me, dude. I don't watch the news enough to have a real informed opinion on this. What I see is whenever somebody in the office is talking about it. I didn't. We had this big trial the other day in St. Louis where the cop shot the guy.
Yeah, the Stockley. Yeah,
I'm such
Stockley
a shithead. That's the first I had heard of it at all.
Really?
Of the trial of the guy getting shot. That's how little I'm on the pulse for current events for this type of stuff.
For anyone that's not up to date on that story, there was a police officer. He was a white man, and he shot a black man, killed him, and they had a trial here in St. Louis. And
to find out if he should be held responsible for killing the guy.
Yeah, he was found not guilty.
Whether or not it was an actual justified shooting, right?
Yeah, that's what the
That's what they end up saying,
show
right?
was about. Yeah,
Right.
I guess. But anyway, so there's big protests and I guess riots, but I don't think they're riots. There's big protests going on constantly right now. So it's a big issue right now with that.
Well, they end up not finding the guy guilty.
Yeah,
right?
they
charged him with
found him
first degree
not
murder.
guilty.
So tell me what your thoughts were on this.
My thoughts were it was a sham from the get-go because they never planned on putting this guy in jail. And
how do you know that?
I don't know that, but what I think is they charge him with first degree murder,
right?
Knowing that they're not going to get a conviction on first degree murder. I mean, historically, cops don't get convicted of first degree murder. You really have to execute somebody to get convicted of that.
There is
as a police officer on duty.
There is a weird protection that surrounds police officers.
The thin blue line, they call it.
Is that what they call it? To where they'll back a guy up even if he did wrong.
Yeah, back the blue.
I just don't get that. I mean, I can understand there's your buddy and you don't want him to get in trouble, but once you cross a line,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, so hang on. Back to my original point.
I could see if he fucking, I'm going to take a quarter out of the,
he
out
actually
of the parking
said,
meter to pay for some coffee.
No, this cop actually said, I'm going to kill you, motherfucker. And then 30 seconds later, he shot him 5 times and then went back to his car and got his personal his personal rifle and shot him another few times. Yeah, he ended up killing him. So, But what I was going to say, they never should have charged him with first-degree murder. If they wanted this cop to go to jail, well, yeah, he should have been convicted of first-degree murder. But they did that on purpose because they knew they weren't going to get a first-degree murder conviction. If they'd have charged him with second-degree murder, manslaughter, something, this guy could have very well spent 10 years behind bars, which should be more. And
what was the guy pulled over for? What's the scenario?
Well, he was running from the cops, and he's a known heroin dealer. None of which
you shouldn't
justifies.
You know, was the guy armed?
I'm not sure.
Did he brandish a weapon at all? Do you know?
You know, I don't know.
See,
I just know that I watched Fox 2 News for this, so there you go. That's kind of why you probably don't watch the news, because they leave out a lot of important shit.
Let's see. The text in here makes a real good point. I just want you to acknowledge is not all cops are assholes.
I didn't say they were. I said this guy that says I'm going to kill this motherfucker, I'm going to kill you, motherfucker, and then kills him. That guy's probably an asshole.
Yeah, he's probably an asshole.
He's probably an asshole. I mean, do you disagree on that? Or?
No, I do not at all. I just want. He's got a good point. I wanted to make sure that you weren't under the. You weren't campaigning under the.
Oh no, totally not. No, not at all. Not at all. Am I campaigning under that? I'm just saying this.
So this goes right along with the next thing you have written down here: the quote unquote fear for my life or fear of my life.
Exactly. Yeah. So here's the thing that a lot of people. I heard this explained very well one time, and it stuck with me. So they can shoot anybody, doesn't matter, because they fear for their life. That's their that's their defense in court and everything. They get off on it. I feared for my life.
That doesn't work for anybody else, though.
No. So we're supposed to remain completely calm with a gun in our face. If a cop has a gun in our face, we got to remain completely calm. We can't fear for our life and act irrational like they can.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
No, and even in the rules of engagement in war, you cannot shoot until you can't fire until fired upon.
It's almost like it seems like.
You know what I mean?
The police culture has gone to the point of it's got PTSD. You know what I mean? Everything, they're jumpy. It's like everything is a flashback.
So here's the thing, and I was once guilty on the other side of this too. No one can think objectively. No one can look at each case individually without being either a cop nut hugger or an anti-police asshole. Sure. And like I said, I'm guilty the same way because I was totally on the anti-police thing. But once you learn, like, look, like this guy just said, there are good cops and there are bad cops, and that's totally true. But you need to look at each case individually and say, okay, look, nope, that guy's an asshole. And I mean, every case is different. The problem is that only the bad cases make it to the main media and for what people to see. Now, you might catch every good case every once in a while about a guy that's adopted 2 kids because he sees them on the street all the time and this whatever. So those things happen. I mean, that goes to show you good cops. But what people mostly see are the cops that fuck up, the cops that kill people without a justification. So that's the problem.
Yeah, you don't often see the cop that will take groceries to a family or
no, exactly. No, you do
coat
see,
down to the kid at the school.
And there's some of them,
right?
But the majority of the videos out there are portraying cops in a bad light, which I say.
I mean, we'll get to this later. We're going to talk about propaganda and not so much propaganda, but just the way the media sells current events. That's you don't see the cop helping out the guy. The newspaper might do a story on that. The local newspaper on the back page of the 3rd section might have a little note about, Officer Randy Joe Simpson who took down some food down to the school or something. But on the front page, they've got all the horrible stuff.
It's a hard problem from the cop point of view as well. I don't understand that. Done a lot of ride-alongs. It's a lot of pressure. Right. So, yeah, okay. They signed up for that as well, though. You signed
Think
up.
Think about the people who signed up.
We grant them a certain degree of authority over us because we recognize that their job is what? Difficult and dangerous. We know that. So, but at the same time, that badge doesn't grant you extra rights. You have to follow the same laws as we do.
Even more, you have a responsibility with that badge.
Exactly. There you go. With great power comes
But that
great
thin blue line you've talked about, the cop culture, from the day that guy comes in as a trainee to do his ride-alongs, he's taught a different way. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm just, again, I've seen too many movies or too much TV. It's you get in that first day and you've got your old jaded cop, right off the bat, swerves that young cop.
Yeah.
That goes up and steals money from the hot dog vendor and says, "Shut up, kid, here's your half."
Did you see that video of that cop doing that?
No, I read about it, though.
Oh, man, that was rough. So, he just went right up and stole the hot dog vendor's money.
Well,
and, the thing that doesn't help police out, and this has really nothing to do with our argument, but a lot of things that doesn't help police, like when they shoot dogs Like when the dogs come up to him with tails wagging. Again, the videos, you only see the good videos, or you only see the bad videos. But gosh, those videos of him shooting dogs are rough, dude. I can't help but think like if that was my dog.
Well, it's psychology of the type of person who wants to become a police officer.
This is true.
I mean, sure, there are the ones who go in wanting to help.
Right.
Who want to
do good, that would like to serve the public.
But there's too many of them are your ex-football players who can't let that life go.
Yeah, Marine,
who have no other
ex-military, a lot
who
of
took
time
no
too.
other time to learn any other skills. So what they can do is rely on their physical presence
and their bullying
to make money. Right? It's the same thing they did in high school. They can go and do on the street, and that's the problem we've got. We need more, and I know we need more police officers, and nobody wants to do it. But every now and then you got to turn some people away. We need a little bit more stringent of a process for who we're allowing to put on that uniform and carry those weapons.
Yeah, Marissa makes a good point. You don't see the cop doing good deeds because we expect that. They are there to serve and protect the public.
Agreed.
That's what they're supposed to do. I'm not saying they have to go and spend their own money to buy groceries, but they are there to do good things. That's exactly what their job is.
Well, if we're going to give media coverage on the police, let's try to be a little more
objective. Agreed. But we don't expect to see them gunning people down in cold blood. And we don't expect to see them shouting out, "I'm going to kill you, motherfucker." You know what I mean? Like we don't expect to see the videos of where they have them handcuffed in those chairs in the police station, and they're just beating the shit out of them in that chair where they can't defend.
Yeah, nobody deserves that.
And the Supreme Court just ruled you're totally well within your rights to defend yourself from a wrongful arrest. But therein lies the problem. You have to be able to prove that it was a wrongful arrest after the fact, because they're going to beat your ass.
Good luck with that one. I'm trying to defend myself, get you shot.
Exactly. But so how do you do that? How can you?
Generally, in my opinion,
I feel like
I'm a white guy. My best bet is comply.
Single white male, baby.
Yeah. Well, not single. I'm kind of married.
Right, but
pretty much totally married, actually. Anyway, that but I don't have the psychology. I don't know how it would be being a person of color, of any other race. The expectation of how a cop is going to treat you right off the bat.
You shouldn't be treated any different than anyone else.
You shouldn't be.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, but you will be. I mean, you shouldn't be, but the fact of the matter is people of color get treated differently instantly.
Yeah, but that's fucked up. Why?
It would be brown, black, Cuban or other, I don't know. It's our culture. You know what I mean? You don't see.
I totally agree with you. It is the culture, and that's what's fucked up, and that's why these protests are. They're not pissed off. They're pissed off because a system that they see work for everyone else. It works for, and much like I said, Everett and I don't like to delve often into politics or race or anything like that. But when as a black community, when you can see a system working for a certain other community, and it's totally helping them out, and it's just shitting all over you, and it's not working for you at all, that can be very frustrating. You get sick and tired of seeing your loved ones gunned down in cold blood in the street. That can be frustrating, you know what I mean? With no justice when they give this guy a non-guilty verdict and he walks. And worse than that, he gets paid to go live somewhere else now in a villa, and I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, eventually we're going to hit a tipping point with these, with the Ferguson shit.
I have a solution. If anybody would like my solution, I have a solution.
Oh, God.
I do. I have an honest-to-God solution to the policing problem in America.
God. What is it?
The solution is they should make police officers be insured and bonded. Now, go on. Okay, so individual insurance companies can insure a cop. You have to carry your own insurance as a cop in case you do something fucked up and the city gets sued. Your insurance can pay for that lawsuit. Because as of right now, if a cop beats my ass, I still have to pay my own lawsuit.
True.
I sue the city. I'm still paying the taxes that the city.
I wonder if a cop beats the shit out of you while you're committing a crime and he hurts his hand beating the shit out of you.
He can sue you, and you have
to pay for it.
Wait, so hang on. Now back to this. You can get bonded. You need to be bonded and insured. So say if you kick the shit out of somebody and he sues the city for $250,000 and they pay, that's like driving a car. You get in a wreck, your insurance goes up. At one point, nobody will insure you no more. You're no longer insurable because you're too high risk. You know what I mean? And if you have to pay $1,000 a month for your police insurance, or maybe the police station pays half, if you can't be insured, they can't hire you. You're not hireable anymore if you're uninsurable. You need to hold your own insurance.
It costs us a lot of
so
tax
the taxpayers aren't. How much do you think it costs when they sue them for $2 and $3 million for someone getting killed?
Let me ask you this: what kind of insurance companies exist that would insure?
I'm not saying that. I'm just offering some sort of a small solution that's not very well hashed out. Cops need
not at all.
Just leave it alone, though. Cops need
leave it alone.
Cops need to be bonded and insured, because if they were insured and they could no longer be insured, it should be a requirement to be a police officer that you need to have your own insurance. And if you can't hold that insurance, you can't be a cop. Just as much way you can't drive if you don't have car insurance, because if you're too shitty of a driver, no one will insure you.
I mean, that's one way to go about it.
You know what I'm saying, though? I mean, think about it. That would definitely drive cops to not do this stuff.
Well, what do you think about if here's a change in the way it would work? What if we went to completely non-lethal weapons that the police officers had?
I'm not for that, though.
Hold on. And we completely increased the punishment for having lethal weapons.
No.
And using them.
No, I don't agree.
Why not?
Because then you're putting the cops at unnecessary risk without a way to defend themselves, because the weapons are out there. They need that. They just need to be more fucking trained and have a little bit better judgment on when
you worried about escalation?
To use deadly force.
You think escalation can work in reverse?
Excuse me. Explain.
So escalation. The cops have handguns. The criminals get semi-automatics. You know, when we've got revolvers and semi-automatics, now the cops get a bigger gun. It just keeps getting more and more and more. Do you think it could work in reverse? The cops start taking their weaponry down a little bit. Now the criminals need a little less. You think they're still going to go?
No, because as a criminal, you would need to be dominant over the police. You got to have the better weapon. Of course. No, you need to maintain.
So same thing with the police. You need to be dominant over the criminal.
Exactly. So I'm not saying dominant over the criminal, but at least good enough to defend yourself. This is much the way that we can have assault rifles here in America, because not because we want to fucking hunt with them, but because we need to be able to defend ourselves.
They need to be militarized.
We need to have the same weapons in case they need to defend ourselves from the government.
So the police need to be militarized.
Negative.
And the people
they don't need to be militarized. No, because there's already sanctions in place on the people.
That's what
there's already sanctions in place on the people.
You got two different things
going on. You can't buy an automatic weapon.
Yeah, you got two different arguments going on here, pal. You're saying in one hand the police need to be armed to the teeth.
No, that's not what I said.
To protect themselves from the criminals, and then the people need to be.
I'm saying the police don't need hand grenades and machine guns. Opinion. You're right. Exactly. That's all that is
so, but you were just saying a minute ago, if the criminals have that, the police need to have something to protect themselves.
No, but I'm saying you can't give a cop a fucking stun gun when the criminals out there have an AK-47.
So what do you give them? So what do you give them? Just enough of a revolver? I mean, where do you draw the line?
I believe what they've got now is fine. They have a service pistol, and in their car they have the option to use what then most officers have the M14 or whatever, the M4 equivalent, the civilian equivalent to the M16, I believe.
Carbide, medium distance carbide.
Exactly. Well, I wouldn't say medium distance.
I mean,
you could no scope. You shoot 1,000 yards.
It's a relative term.
Right. Got a location to pull up for you guys. Cool. Zach Mullins put the poll up for us on where everybody was at. Appreciate that, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
I'm white and cops fucked with me for years, so I got my CCW permit. It makes no sense to not put the police on the same level as the criminals.
What's that now?
I was just reading some of the comments right here. It's the Texan says that it makes no sense to not put the police on the same level as the criminals. All I'm saying is you can't take their stuff away while the criminals at the same time have.
But then again, you're telling me
no. But you're saying you wanted to de-escalate things. So you're saying de-escalate to the point of what?
No.
And I'm telling you, criminals
that's a
will
whole different
not
argument.
de-escalate.
What I'm saying is you're saying the police need to have the same equipment as what the criminals have, right?
No, I'm not saying exactly the same equipment. No, because criminals
then
can
that
acquire.
Your argument that the police shouldn't have that kind of equipment.
What do you mean?
You were saying before the police don't need to have all this crazy equipment, like really good guns or grenades or whatever.
They don't need machine guns.
But at the same time, you're telling me they need to be
40mm grenade launcher. They don't need that. But a criminal can acquire that on the street somewhere illegally.
What police, like local police, has a 40mm grenade launcher?
I just put the link to the website in the poll, which you can go and check every local police department's recent military acquisitions.
Okay. And which police department?
I can't tell you one because I didn't look through every single one.
Then I don't buy your argument. If you would like to know,
our Wood River Police Department does not have 40mm grenade launchers, but there are some that do.
Yeah, maybe in New York, who might have a situation where they might need a little bit more firepower.
Okay.
Where the National Guard might come in and they would have it.
Well, okay, but at the same time, why would hang on here, bringing me perfectly to my next point.
Oh God, here it comes.
Why would police need a 40mm grenade launcher if there was that deep of an issue? Call SWAT teams. You have SWATs. I'm not saying call National
SWAT
Guard.
Police, and that's who would use that weapon.
Exactly. So call the SWAT team. A patrol cop doesn't need that.
He doesn't have that.
No, I mean maybe not.
You're so full of shit. Your eyes ought to be brown, man.
Maybe.
You're giving me two different points here. On the one hand, you argue that the police should be outfitted to fight the criminals, and then on your other hand,
that's not what I said. All I'm saying is you can't take their weapons away so that they can't fight the criminals.
Yeah.
I didn't say that they should be outfitted with exactly what they have. All I'm saying is you wanted to de-escalate, and I'm saying you can't take their revolver, their service pistols away when they're, you can't do that.
So you cannot de-escalate at all.
You can't bring a knife. You're going to give them a knife to a gunfight. You can't do
fine.
That. No.
Then right then and there, your argument to where you say police should not be militarized and what they have now is too much, you're saying that's my argument, but we can't take it away from them. We can't take away what they have, and you're arguing to me previously about what they have. And then you're telling me we can't take it away. You have two different arguments going on here.
Nah.
No,
in a sense, maybe.
In a sense, exactly.
Yeah, but who am I? I'm not a cop.
No, you're a guy trying to make an argument here that's cyclical and contradictory.
Well, it's two separate arguments, to be fair.
Yeah, but they contradict each other.
Listen, well, they're on the same scope, I guess. But
oh, my fucking God. Moving on.
Fuck you.
TSA pat-downs. You got that written down here.
Yeah, that's a little intrusive, you think?
Have you ever been through TSA?
No.
So what the fuck do you know?
Have you?
Yeah, many, many times. It's not intrusive really at all.
You don't think so?
No, they here, let's do a live. Come over here real quick. We're going to do a live pat down. I'll show you what they do. And you'll see if it's intrusive. If I went too far, you can smack me in the face. Let's do this. There's my camera.
Hang on.
I am not illegal.
If this is anything like the TSA pat downs I've seen, Everett's getting his ass kicked right here. Just to let you know.
Let's see how this goes. Up against the wall. See these switches here?
Oh, they put you against the wall too?
No. But I'm getting a little crazy. Just you don't have to put your arms up like that. Hold your arms out. Arms out. So.
Yeah, pre 9/11 maybe.
Go.
Pre 9/11.
I went to Vegas not 3 months ago. That's what I got. Going to Vegas.
That was it.
That's it. On the way back.
Smell like
same
weed?
thing. Probably.
Oh.
Always do.
Always do.
But my point is, TSA is not that bad. It sucks that there's all the regulations about what we can take, what liquids, and it may be overkill. But the first time somebody gets a fucking bomb on the plane and a bottle of shampoo, people are gonna be like, "Why'd that happen?"
Okay, you'd have to be a pretty smart bomb maker for that, I guess.
Yeah, that's not the point, though.
Animal Enterprise. This was a good one.
We're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't society where we just need to somehow figure out who the assholes are and remove them. End of the day. Speaking of assholes, what about these guys who walk around with their AK-47s down the main drag? You know what I mean? They have their open carry permits. It's totally legal to have that gun, but they walk around hoping for a confrontation with a police officer just so they can spout about their Second Amendment rights.
They're assholes.
How do you think that is on cops? Wouldn't you be nervous? You've got people who their only point is, it's not the safety of the weapon, it's to brandish the weapon in public and have a confrontation with you where they can say how they are in the right. Not that they, like, oh, here's my gun, it might accidentally go off. You know what I mean? You can't have the problem if you don't have the gun out there. That's got to really fuck with cops.
Yeah.
Would you want to walk up to a guy who's got a gun?
No. And that's like I said, that no one's saying that these people are not within their rights to do what they're doing. But wrong is because you're inciting a conflict where there was not one before. You know what I mean?
Didn't have to
regardless of whether you're allowed.
Will Smith
to do
put it best in the first Men in Black movie.
What?
I think it was Men in Black. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
Right.
I mean, that's not always true. Sometimes shit gets brought to you.
Well,
but for the most
part,
not
always true. But in this case, it totally is. Like, why? Okay, so you're just basically you're trying to incite a confrontation with a police officer because you know that when they see that, because
what do you win if you win this argument? What is the point? What are you trying to prove?
Right.
Who does that help? These are rhetorical. I'm not asking you. These are rhetorical questions. I'm asking these people who do this. Anybody here on the chat? Has anybody said anything? It's because I'm not brown. What do you mean? What's because I'm not brown? I am not brown. That's true.
Shane's here, huh? Because you're not brown. Because he's from Mexico, so that's probably like I'm a brown.
I'm not following you.
I don't either.
He'll get back to that in a minute. Mm-hmm. All right, what else? But my point is this: stop it. Stop it with that. Own the gun. That's fine. Carry a sidearm. That's fine. But don't walk up and down your street more or less with using your gun as a protest sign.
Right. The only time your assault rifle should be on your back is if Al Qaeda is invading America,
or for whatever reason your paranoid delusions have come true and the government is now finally taking it over and taking all of our guns.
Yeah, but at that point,
then yes, arm yourself.
All you're doing to those police is making them feel very fucking uncomfortable. You're very
like they need to be more jumpy.
Yeah, well, because most of them are there to what? Serve and protect the public. Now, when you got some guy out here that's got a military-style rifle that, you know, he's carrying around, the cop might feel it's his need and his job to go out there and try to figure out what you're doing out here, man. Yeah, you do have the right, but you're making other people nervous, and I'm getting calls about this because that's something that happens a lot, too. The cops have to go out and address these guys because they're getting calls. Some wacko's walking up and down the strip with a fucking weapon on his back.
Let me swerve this slightly. What do you think about the airsoft pistols that are in the shape of like a real assault rifle? And you got kids walking around with them, and cops
that got that kid shot. They killed a 7-year-old kid with an airsoft pistol.
Now, is it the cop because he was maybe didn't check the situation too much?
Man, I don't want to say anybody's
Is it the kid's
fault,
parent?
Though.
Is it the company?
Is
it our
society?
society?
It's anybody's fault.
I mean, there's a lot of things that went wrong.
That's a fucked up situation for everybody. See, you're assuming that the cop's not going to be fucking.
I'm not assuming it.
Some cops probably kill themselves for stuff like that. If
probably do.
They had to shoot a fucking 7-year-old kid, and they found out it was an airsoft rifle.
Even if it was a real gun?
At the very worst,
even if it was a real assault
you just
rifle.
got an alcohol problem. At the very worst, you just got yourself an alcohol
least,
problem. Yeah, at the very least, yeah, you just copped an alcohol problem. You know what I mean? That's fucked. And the kid, the parents,
it's no wonder why nobody wants to be a cop. The shit you got to deal with for the little amount of thanks and the media attention you get is only whenever one of the guys that does your job does something shitty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And it would be different if they made like a fucking $200,000 a year, but they don't. That's not.
Let me ask you this: say you were a cop, wouldn't you want to have the best body armor you could get? Wouldn't you want to have the most sophisticated handgun you could get?
Yeah. If I needed that, yeah.
Well, I mean, who's to say need? It's like a
you
condom. You'd rather have it and not need it.
But at the same time, like we were talking earlier, and like you said, in New York, where they would probably need stuff that of a little more, where the gangs in LA, where the gangs are going to be bigger and in more numbers, you can't just run up on a gang with a pistol that there's 8 of them, you know what I mean? Because they could all have pistols, you know, or vice versa, whatever. I just feel like in certain areas, you know, that you would require a little more protection versus what you would in, say, rural Illinois.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Randy's point about me not being brown is my experience with the TSA. You may very well be right on that. I had not considered that.
That's true. Yeah, call me the asshole every time I've been through TSA. They don't fuck with me.
And to be fair, you watch everybody going through too, and I've never noticed anything. From now on, I'm going to start fucking keeping an eye out for that. See if anybody else is getting unfairly treated.
Really?
I just became a social justice warrior.
What are you going to do if they are, though?
Nothing. I don't.
Nothing. Not a damn thing.
I'll be like, God damn it! You see that?
I really got to make my fucking flight.
I'm not even going to make a post on Facebook about it, but I will change my tune next time we come back around to this topic. I'll tell you that.
Will you tell me that?
Okay. What about spy drones?
What about them?
So you got it here on your list. By spy drones, and I assume with your talk of the police state here, you're not talking about the drones we use in Afghanistan.
No.
You're talking about the drones that zoom up and down the streets. And, yeah. Okay, where do these get used? Who's using them? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing. Police departments are using them. You can look it up. It's all over YouTube. There's plenty of articles.
Do you have any kind of examples that we can cite?
Not locally, no.
Okay, so you wrote it down here. Are you for or against them?
I don't think it's okay to like hover drones above people's houses just to see what they're doing. Like even if they're suspected of growing marijuana, I don't think you should hover drones around them. Which I don't think that's okay.
That's not okay.
That's spy droning.
But
that's what I'm talking
what's
about.
The difference between a police officer patrolling the neighborhood down the streets than a drone being flown in a pattern similar to the way the streets are laid out and somebody monitoring it back in the police station, looking for crimes? Same thing. What's the difference to you? Now you don't have...
hang on. Now that you put it like that, I would almost be okay. But then
they don't have a gun. The drone probably doesn't have a gun.
Yeah, but
you don't pay a salary to it. You pay a salary to the guy in the back. You don't have to have the gasoline for the car.
But the response timing, if a police officer was needed, would suffer due to a drone.
Okay, fair enough. But hang
on. I just think that we need to redefine as a society what it means to be a cop. Okay, the whole system is fucked up. I don't have the answers, but I think the way we do things isn't right. There's got to be a better way. There's fucking got to be a better way. What about all the fucking people that are put in prison and shit like that all the time? There's got to be a better way, dude.
I'm not following you here.
Well, okay, so let me.
Stop looking at your laptop.
No, I got the number right here. So we have the largest prison system in the world. We have 5% of the world's. The U.S. has 5% of the world's population and 25% of the world's prisoners. So 1 in 99 adults in the U.S. are behind bars. 1 in 31 adults are under some form of the correctional control, which would be prison, jail, parole, or probation. So, yeah, a number of people in prison per 100,000.
What's this have to do with what we need to do or decide what a cop is?
Well, because a cop decides who the fuck goes to jail and who don't.
No, a judge decides that.
Yeah, but if a cop puts you in jail for, I mean, he can make shit up. That happens all the time. I'm just saying that we're, as a police state, we are putting more people in jail than ever before, more than anywhere in the world. 716 per 100,000 in America, compared to, let's say, China, 121 per 100,000.
Well, at that point, you could argue about the prisons being all owned by corporations, and it's prison for profit at this point, too.
Well, that is exactly what I'm going to talk about next, the Animal Enterprise Terrorism Act. So
I was wondering what the fuck that was.
Yeah, it protects corporations' profits through policing and legislation. But hang on, I wasn't dumped about.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how private companies own the prisons and make money per person they put into bed. So it makes sense for these companies to want more people in prison, so they make more money about it. What you're talking about is using laws to make sure Walmart keeps its profit margin.
Okay, so how about using laws to make sure that the corporations keep people in the prison? So these corporations can actually sue the state if they're not held to a 95%, like they have actual contracts with the state. These private prison corporations that you're talking about can sue the state if they don't hold a 95% population rate, like full, 95% full.
So if you got 1,000 people capacity, if you don't have 950 in it, they could sue the state by saying you're not got enough people.
Yes.
That sounds crazy.
That's true. Okay, so
I'm going to have to Google that because I don't see what you're trying to do here.
Go ahead. The Animal Enterprise Terrorism Act is a United States federal law that prohibits any person from engaging in certain conduct for the purpose of damaging or interfering with the operations of an animal enterprise. The salute covers an act that either damages or causes loss to any real or personal property or places person in reasonable fear of injury.
Give me that in English.
Okay. You cannot... So it's like the protester thing. Take the Sitting Rock thing.
Okay.
So this was actually, they're trying to block off that pipeline, right? You know what I'm saying? The protesters.
Yeah, they're trying to stop it from being put through the.
Well, they were stopping that company from making profits.
Okay.
So that's what this law. It covers any act that either damages or causes the loss of any real or personal property.
So to do a protest that would hurt a company is illegal.
According
is that what they're
to
saying?
This.
Yeah. What? No fucking shit. It should be.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I mean, protest is one thing, but commerce is another.
What if you're protesting?
If they have the legal right,
what if you're protesting that business?
I don't know, man. I guess I just don't understand desperation to the point like where I'm going to go stand in front of a bulldozer. You know what I mean?
I mean, that was one of the most famous pictures. There's one in the office of that guy that stands in front of the
Tiananmen Square. Right.
Tiananmen Square. He stands in front of the tank.
Yeah, I'm
not really.
I'm not a radical like you, I guess. You know, I don't get upset.
Okay, this was something that I wanted to touch on about the police state. They killed that guy in Texas who shot those cops without due process. They blew him up. They sent a robot in there with a bomb and blew the guy up.
I need more. I need to Google this.
Now, to be fair, he was in a standoff and he wouldn't come out.
So they just sent in a bomb and blew him up. That's not how it works. Well, find me a link. I'm not looking it up. You're the one bringing it up. Give me more information.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? You're not just going to go, yeah, they blew a guy up and expect me to prove it to myself. I'm not doing that.
Well, fill some time while I'm looking for this real quick.
All right. So in the meantime, I'd like to talk about how Eric is full of shit, and he's got all these weird notes here that are kind of like they go against each other. I don't know.
No, they don't.
Did you find it?
Each other.
Did you find out about the guy they blew up? What kind of bomb did they use? C4? Grenade? Rocket launcher.
Rocket launcher. Oh man, did I ever show you the video of Kim Jong-un putting an anti-aircraft missile point blank range in front of one of his dissidents?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, it was rough.
Sounds like it. All right. Does it even?
Dallas police shooting. Here we go.
Let's assume that they did. Yeah, that's wrong. That's an easy one. You know what I mean? That's an easy one to say that's wrong.
Cops use military robot to blow up cornered subset. We saw no other option than to use our Oh, you pop-up motherfucker.
You got hit with a pop-up?
Yeah. Fucking right in my face, too. Oh. Okay, we saw no other option but to put our bomb and robot in place, the device on its extension, and for it to detonate where the suspect was. Pretty.
That's one quote. Give me some more info.
Cops in Dallas used military-style robot armed with a bomb to blow up the suspect in the Dallas massacre. 5 officers were gunned down by at least 2 shooters who picked out officers from an elevated position. Obviously high ground, of course.
So it sounds like they sniped him with a bomb, more or less.
No. That's what this guy did. This guy killed a couple cops and got caught into a
standoff. He's holed up like in PUBG where you're inside of a little bitty room.
Exactly.
And they can't snipe him, which they would normally do.
Okay, so the suspect was upset about the Black Lives Matter, all that stuff. He said, we cornered one suspect. We tried to negotiate for several hours. Negotiations broke down, and we exchanged gunfire. We saw no other option but to use our bomb robot and place a device on the extension and for it to detonate where the suspect was. Other options would have exposed our officers
What's
to
wrong with
danger. You just said it was wrong. What do you mean what's wrong?
Well, now that I have...
just said it was
okay,
wrong.
now that I have the, the specifics of the case, it sounds like that's a perfect thing to do. Normally, they would just snipe a guy who's a threat to the public.
What happened to due process, though, man?
He's a threat to the public. Due process is save the public at that point.
So blow him up.
Blow him up. Shoot him in the head with a sniper or blow him up. I mean, you gotta neutralize it, right? What are you gonna do? Throw some knockout gas in there? I don't think that comes with the. That's the less than lethal that you were telling me earlier they shouldn't have. Remember earlier you were talking about less than lethal is not a good idea.
No, I didn't say it's not a good idea.
You can't take away their weapons. Well,
so
that's
there's
what it sounds
situations for it. It's not that it's not a good idea.
My point
it's
exactly.
Situational.
My point
so
exactly. So this militarization.
This was a situation that they needed to blow this guy up.
Right. So the militarization of the police is such a misnomer because it's all situational. It's equipment that you can call military grade, but it's all situational equipment, and it's good that they have it.
Okay. I mean, that's just like your opinion.
It was your opinion a minute ago. When we were talking about it from the other point of view,
well, I don't believe that.
I'm done with police state. That's it.
My point of view
I'm not
changed.
discussing this one with you again, and it'll never be on the show.
Well, okay.
Because you don't know what side of this you're on.
Well, we're discussing it. Maybe I'll figure out what side of it I'm on after we're done discuss it.
I sincerely doubt you're
just telling you what I think's right and what I think's wrong in these situations.
But you keep telling me the opposites, though.
In these situations, the certain situations, I think this was right or this was wrong.
Okay. All right.
Whether you're trying to make me look contradicting or not, that's
I'm
completely
not trying
fine,
to do it. You're doing that.
But I'm just telling you what I think's right and wrong in each of these situations.
Okay. Well, this is the perfect seg then. The next topic we had on here was the dumbing down of America.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I was going to say, how would this be intentional? I don't know if it was intentional or not, but mission fucking accomplished. Whoever's doing it.
It's intentional, but we are getting dumber.
Yeah, that's obvious. I'm getting dumber. I think everybody who's listening to the show is getting dumber.
Because of you.
No, we are.
You know what? John predicted this perfectly. He said, you're going to get in there and everyone's going to go, that's bullshit. Bullshit. That's bullshit. I'm like, yeah, that's usually what he does.
Well, a thinking person does that. It's like religion. It's conspiracy
right?
theory sometimes, and you guys get this in your heads is religion.
We're going to do transhumanism next week, so we're not talking about that. That was originally supposed to be on today's show, but we're not going to talk about that.
Right, so yeah, that was going to be one of our all-over-the-place topics. I think it was Shane. Was it Shane Salak?
Shane wanted that one.
So transhumanism is the.
I thought we weren't talking about it.
No, I just want to explain what it is so whenever we do the show, they'll have an idea. It's modifying your body to make yourself more than human, from augmentations to, like your eyes or your ears or genetic alterations, anything else that can evolve you. There are so many different aspects to this. We thought it was just too much for all over the place. We're going to do the whole show next week on transhumanism.
Yeah, it should be a good one. That's a crazy subject.
It's going to be a lot about what it means to be human. At what point do you cease to be human and do you be something else? That's kind of what the transhumanists want. They don't really want to be human anymore. They want to be the next thing.
Well, yeah, we try to want to define.
That's what trans means.
We want to define what it actually is to be human. Maybe try to boil it down to what exactly the constituents are for you to be called a human. And if that's the case and they're just these guidelines and that's what makes you a human, can we make those guidelines into a robot's like if you feel things, well, maybe they come out with a computer chip that makes you feel. So now that thing can be considered a human because these are your guidelines you set out for being a human.
Yeah, we don't have those guidelines yet, but
no, I think we should come up with them though. Me and you. We'll have just nailed down.
If there's anything in my life I want to avoid is policy setter. Right. You know what I mean? Y'all start sounding like you being, on both sides of the argument. Thank fucking God. Thank God.
I'm not a politician.
So on this corner, it makes sense that the light turns red and you stop. But on the next corner, we're going to go with red means go because it makes more sense on this corner.
No, it doesn't.
That's how it'd be if you set policy.
No. You're just being an asshole now because that's not true at all.
I'm kind of being an asshole.
I know.
All right, moving on. We got fucking several things I want to hit here before we get done today. FBI knew Hitler was in Argentina. This was kind of cool. This has been making rounds all over all the social media shit lately. Apparently, the CIA released documents that show that they had reports of Hitler being alive.
They just declassified these documents.
Right, that they had knowledge that Hitler had supposedly fled to Colombia, lived there for 10 years, and then moved to Argentina.
In the foothills, yeah. The Andes Mountains. Yeah, that's gnarly as fuck, because if that's the case, man, we got lied to.
I don't know, man. Think about this. At what point, wouldn't you be a hero in the CIA if you came up and said, I found proof, somebody's telling me that Hitler's living down there? The only way that doesn't happen is if the CIA themselves moved Hitler. And they don't,
so
they know already, you know what I'm saying?
Right, so you're calling either bullshit or it was a product of us anyways.
Right, I mean, I'm going to say if it wasn't the CIA who put him there, then a person coming up with that report and having that report would be a goddamn hero. They found Hitler, he's still alive, let's go kill him again. We didn't get the chance the first time.
Right.
So my point is this: either he did not live, or the CIA put him there, or whoever in America did it. Somebody knew it, and whenever the knowledge was brought out again, they said, "Yeah, that's just crazy talk because we can't have anybody going down there and looking into that."
Right.
That's where I end with it.
So either bullshit or we had something to do with it anyway.
Right.
Right.
And I don't see any reason why we would have let him move to South America.
Well, I did have here that the DNA from the skull that the Soviets had, because the Soviets were the ones that found him in the bunker.
Right.
They had some of his,
fragments?
apparently part of his skull and his jaw.
Sure.
And they did the DNA test recently, and it was not Hitler's. It was that of a woman.
Shane on the chat here is saying there was a 113-year-old man claiming to be Hitler a couple months ago in Argentina. I wonder if that works out with the timeline. I don't know when Hitler was born.
04?
Let's find out. Hitler.
04 maybe?
Well, that means when he would have been born. He was born in 1889, so that doesn't really work out.
No. 113 years. Yeah, that wouldn't be. That's weird. It was him.
Jay says it was him.
But so like the one piece of solid evidence they thought that they had, well, the Soviets anyway, thought that they had for Hitler was, his skull.
I wonder who got to be the volunteer skull donor. Somebody had to put that skull there.
Buddy, you want to be the new Hitler? What do you mean?
How would you like to be the new Hitler?
Right. Shit.
All right, moving on. So let's talk about the fake news media machine, the propaganda.
Yes. I want you.
What about that?
The army poster.
What about it?
That's like the oldest, most identifiable piece of propaganda that most people don't realize is exactly that, propaganda.
Okay, I think everybody realizes that though. You taught that in social studies.
Nah, they didn't teach me. That was propaganda.
Oh, they sure did.
No.
They put that side by side with buy war bonds. The Huns are bad. It's all
the what are bad?
The Huns. That's what they called the Germans.
Oh no, I didn't.
The Huns. You know what I mean?
No. See, we must add different history classes.
I paid attention. Is what happened.
Is that? Oh yeah. Fuck you again, jack off. Everett's an asshole today.
I am an asshole today, but oh well.
So, like, the war on drugs, that's complete propaganda. Like, and we know.
Okay, what do you mean that's complete propaganda?
So, the war on drugs, well, okay, so I guess you can't say the actual war is propaganda, but they fuel this entire war on drugs. It's fueled by propaganda.
Okay, so the propaganda that drugs are bad?
So, yeah. Well, and I'm not saying that they're not. See, why are you in an argumentative state? I already know you're going with it. You're an asshole.
I'm not in an argumentative state. I'm trying.
So you're saying drugs aren't bad?
No, well, I mean, that's what it sounds like. I'm trying to understand why this is propaganda to you.
So like reefer madness, for example.
Okay.
Marijuana, they make it out to be a lot worse than it is.
Sure.
That's just one example. And another example is
100 years ago.
There's other countries that have completely legalized drugs, and they've seen a reduce in crime. And once they stop treating you like a criminal and more like someone that needs help, and they start putting people in, like treatment and shit like that, things happen better for society in most of these countries that have legalized drugs in general. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is a war on it really the right way to fight it? Or you know what I mean? I think we are going about it the wrong way, and we drive it with propaganda.
I don't know. I'd like to know more about this who's behind this propaganda. The government?
Yeah, well, of course. And that's who's doing the war on drugs.
So what is all of their propaganda? So because reefer madness wasn't a government thing.
No. But there's commercials you'll see on TV, like the kid melting into the couch. You know what I'm saying? He's like, God, I just smoked a joint.
Well, I think everybody knows that's hyperbole. You know, it's exaggeration.
Does an 8-year-old?
No, doesn't matter that an 8-year-old doesn't
right,
know.
8-year-old should be smoking pot anyway.
It's getting pissed off about a message that
I'm
maybe it's a dumb.
pissed off. Where are you getting that from?
I don't know. I'm taking you from I take you usually on the side that what you're talking about you think is dumb.
This was an all over the place show to discuss topics.
Okay.
I'm not taking sides on anything.
Sure seems like it.
Gosh, I guess so, huh? Fuck.
Call me crazy.
No. See, look, there's the thin blue line thing. That's propaganda as well, too. We talked about that a little bit earlier.
Don't call me the asshole when you've classically been the one who talks that way, though, and who is anti-government and anti-everything that is everything.
Oh, yeah, I don't like the government.
So don't act like I'm the asshole whenever I make an assumption about...
Look at that. Again, police propaganda, back to blue. Muslim and Islam propaganda. What do you think about that?
I don't know. Tell me about
and
it.
Does all propaganda have to be created by the government? Is that a thing? Like, is that part of the definition of... I don't know that. That's what I'm asking you.
No,
part of the definition of propaganda? Does it have to be made by the government?
I wouldn't think so.
Okay, so then Muslim and Islamic propaganda are all over Facebook all the time. Anti-Muslim, anti-Islamic propaganda. Constantly.
I'm sure there's plenty of pro-Muslim and pro-Islam propaganda as well.
Exactly. There you go. It's part of my point. So it's the same thing with every facet. Propaganda.
So propaganda is a stupid term to me then.
Okay.
Because if it's just information, whether it's skewed or biased, it's biased information is what propaganda.
Biased information.
So it's everywhere anyway.
Right.
So let's stop calling it propaganda. Let's just say no more biased information.
We'll get a hold of Merriam-Webster.
No more opinion.
We'll delete that out of the dictionary. That word's gone. Yeah. No more propaganda. Everett doesn't like it. It hurt his feelings. Yeah. He doesn't feel like that we need to have that anymore.
No, I'm done with the show today. That's
what about Ebola and Zika?
I don't care.
Presidents and celebrities related?
Don't give a fuck.
We're not even an hour in.
I don't care. Yeah, no, that's a good point. What did happen to Ebola and Zika? That was real important on the news for like a few weeks, and then they were gone.
I mean, this was you.
Same thing with West Nile. That was the biggest deal 10 years ago. Every mosquito in the world had West Nile. Every bird you saw dead died of West Nile. Every bird that dies, you must call the county government to pick up so they can test it. And then nothing. They eradicated it somehow. I don't know. I just found that weird. I have no real point other than, hey, what the fuck with these diseases that come and go when the news needs a story?
Yeah, if you notice, like most of these were during like the presidential election. That's when that Zika thing was big, like back in early 2016, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ebola, Zika, West Nile. I put anthrax down there because you don't hear about any anthrax anymore.
Well, no, anthrax.
I'd say it's probably still alive or still alive. It's probably still a thing, but you don't ever hear about big anthrax scares anymore.
Wasn't anthrax a bacteria rather than a virus like these other things?
I don't know.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Anthrax was a bacteria, huh? You always hear of it like the white powder, it's a bacteria. I didn't know that. Okay, let me pull that up. The presidents and celebrities being related. That was kind of gnarly. Here's a bunch of presidents. We'll just start with the fifth cousins. Theodore Roosevelt and Franklin Roosevelt, obviously. Millard, Fillmore, and Grover Cleveland are fifth cousins once removed. Rutherford, and you know what? I read you all these the other day, and you're like, yeah, but I bet everybody's at like
I'm
that.
fifth cousins with Bono from U2. I mean, you are too. We're 3 times removed, but whatever.
That's not true.
That's not true at all. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, everybody at some point is related. Does it surprise you that like the president of the United States is 19th cousins with the Queen of England? 7 times removed or whatever?
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Jesus was your grandfather 18 fucking, times removed or whatever. It doesn't surprise me. I don't know. People drawing all these conclusions.
I just think that's very...
What's up, Armand?
You guys still arguing?
Yeah.
Everett's on one today.
All over the argument.
On one today.
I'm a little fed up with...
Everett's on
Hop
one
on,
today.
Armand. Let me get your microphone turned on to record. Just a second.
Fraternal discord.
Okay.
Thank you.
By the way, I was wrong.
Okay.
I was actually right.
Hold that thought for just a second.
Okay. I don't want to... Yeah, maybe I shouldn't say it at all.
No, totally. I know you got a list of stuff that we were wrong about.
No, I was wrong. I said something wrong.
Well, you should be good.
It was actually, I looked up, I knew it was Benjamin Franklin who had that. Those who would sacrifice liberty for security.
Okay, it was Franklin?
Yeah, and I looked it up. I just happened to look it up. It said Thomas Jefferson. I didn't check the It wasn't. It was Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin
Is this mic working? I'm not hearing him.
I hear something.
I don't know.
Hello? Say it again, Armand. Nope.
Anthrax is a bacillus.
It's not coming through.
You're right. It's
How about now?
anthrax is a bacillus,
Good to go?
Yep.
which means it's a rod-like bacteria.
Oh, really?
Yes, as
Yeah,
opposed to
Yeah, I had no idea about that being.
coccus, which is a circle, and they're usually in bunches like grapes.
Cool.
Those are cocci. Streptococci.
Yeah, yeah.
Streptococci. Yeah.
What do you think about all the presidents being related one way or another? Does that?
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
Do you find that
Barbara Bush
interesting
is
at
like,
all?
her real name is Barbara Pierce. Franklin Pierce.
Do you find it
Related.
interesting that they might be fifth cousins? Do you
who?
find that any of the
The
presidents?
Roosevelts, I think they were.
Yeah, but okay, that's
sure.
But why
we
does
all
that?
know this is a dynastic country.
John Tyler and Benjamin Harrison, fifth cousins. Millard Fillmore and Warren Harding, fifth cousins twice removed.
Here's a great trivia question: which president was a son-in-law of another president? And it's kind of a trick question.
Oh,
Jefferson Davis was.
oh yeah.
Yeah, Zachary Taylor's son-in-law.
Never would have got that anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, he was president of the Confederacy, so that's kind of a tough one. But anyway, yeah, of course they're all related.
Yeah, I just
I
thought
mean,
that was nuts.
we were all related at one point or another. I don't know. Just the
Yeah.
I've seen this referenced.
Mitochondrial Eve.
Sure,
Okay, shut up.
100,000 years ago, something like that.
Show on.
Mitochondrial
I
Eve?
think it's now they're saying it's like 300,000 years ago.
Really? Were they traced it back that far?
They keep going back and back.
No, but you always see this on Facebook or links on YouTube. All the presidents are related, to the royal family, or
That's true,
George
yeah.
Bush's second cousins with the Queen. It doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't find it to be more than a coincidence.
That's how hemophilia spreads.
Is it?
I don't know.
It's all
I thought it spread from a cut.
right. It's all that inbreeding, though. It's a very rare disease, but it's from all that, that's when, like, Queen Victoria was grandmother of Europe, and, like, the little Tsarinovich or whatever was, that's what Rasputin came along and everything, because the kid, he was the only guy that could control the kid's bleeding. But anyway, I agree with you guys on the drug war. I like that incisive analysis on the drug war.
What do you agree with? What did we say?
Nothing.
Yeah, I don't think we came to any conclusions there.
Well, I'll come to a conclusion. Legalize it all.
Oh, I agree with you there.
That's my opinion.
Oh, you agree with Armand?
Well, I was just talking about the propaganda side of
Don't
that.
you?
I wasn't talking about the war on drugs.
I said it 5 minutes ago. I'm an asshole.
No, it was the propaganda side of
You're
it.
his brother.
Right.
I'm trying to
Can't
figure out
be
what
related.
points you're making about propaganda and the war on drugs. I think the war
I'm
on
not
drugs is
making
stupid.
any points. I'm just.
Yeah, what was the point? Now, that was a little sketchy. What?
What?
The points you guys were making about propaganda, I guess it's not.
Oh,
good.
I just that the war on drugs is fueled by mostly propaganda. You know what I mean? That all these statistics that they're saying,
As opposed to what? Raids? Because there's a lot of raids on warehouses and homes that are fueling this war on drugs as well.
Well, I think that's a big part of it. They impound so much stuff.
Right.
The local cops love this because you take a van, you take anything that's even remotely associated with it.
Well, what I was talking about is how you hear all like these studies about, heroin addicts this and drug addicts that, all these percentages and everything, but they're not with the percentages that they don't tell you, because we just figured out that propaganda is just biased information, right? So the percentages that they don't tell you are of countries that have completely legalized drugs, and of course they have
Even if it's legal doesn't mean people should be using it.
No, it doesn't. But it means crime. In some of these places, crime goes
Well,
down.
what did you say about
that's a
alcohol?
good
You know what I
argument.
mean?
How about
That's the-
alcohol then? It's legal.
It's legal.
Yeah, I have no problem with any of the drugs, again, being legal. Doesn't mean you should
Right.
use them.
No, but you should. Then you're saying we shouldn't drink either, though, or
I mean, that's
in
personal.
moderation, even.
It's fine to drink in moderation.
Okay.
I guess
fine
it's
to use
fine.
drugs
How
in
about drugs?
moderation.
I guess if that's what you want to do, it's fine to do heroin in moderation if that's your thing. It's not mine.
Well, I think that's the point.
I'm not going to tell anybody not to do
That's the thing. That's what we're trying to get.
Is
at
there
here.
such a thing as heroin in moderation?
Yeah, that's
I don't
for
know.
That's again making policy, and I just can't do that.
Well, I think
I'm not going to decide for somebody else. I say it's fine.
Isn't that the major argument though against legalizing cannabis?
Cannabis?
That
Tom
the
Hanks, Lincoln, and
novel
Lincoln.
pronunciation. But isn't that it's a gateway drug, right? You start with pot and you move on to these other things. I've never seen any compelling evidence. of that, by the
Dare
way.
actually quietly took pot off of the list as a gateway drug.
did?
Dare drug
Oh.
abuse resistance
Well, good
education.
for Dare.
Yeah, they took marijuana off as a
Sure, there's
gateway drug.
I've never read any compelling evidence that
What is a gateway drug is alcohol. I feel like you drink alcohol, you're more likely to do other shit.
Dude, the whole thing of gateway drug.
Yeah, I don't know that
I
whole
don't-
concept.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, you may say that Vicodin or any of these painkillers that doctors
Totally
that we
gateway
prescribe,
drugs.
I think
Totally or
that's-
gateway
yeah.
drugs.
I disagree. I think somebody who's going to get addicted is going to get addicted to whatever's around them. You know what I mean?
So it's addictive. It's in the personality then.
So weed is a gateway drug because it's probably one of the most easiest things to get a hold of. You know what I mean? But pills are easy, the gateway drug to heroin for the most part, because they're so much easier to get a hold of than heroin. Okay. And you can just swallow them.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have to shoot them up.
Okay.
I mean, if you could take heroin and just swallow it, and easily get it from anybody, there's it's exactly what it is.
Well, I think that's the problem, though. At least initially, you're getting these. It is easy to get them, but then it gets hard, and your doctor has to cut you off. Then it's hard.
Your body's reward centers, the dopamine, can't tell the difference between a Vicodin and heroin. It's the same.
My point exactly. So if you're a person who's going to get addicted is probably going to get addicted on whatever they can get addicted. Probably.
Yeah, but it's what you're saying is it's easier for someone. It's more socially acceptable to pop a pill.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying if I'm sitting in
some heroin in your vein.
If I'm sitting around and I'm thinking about a drug they're going to do, and the easiest thing I could do is just swallow a pill, that's easier than puncturing my skin. That's why it's a gateway, because I'm not hardcore yet.
I would argue that it would be more of a gateway because it's socially acceptable over shooting it into your. Yeah, I think more people don't have such a bad stigma about just popping a pill. You know, people take pills all the time for all kinds of different things. I think it's
socially horrible.
No, I'm just saying that what do you think, Armand?
Well, I don't know about the gateway drug thing, but I mean, what I would say is that these studies have shown that I think now this heroin pandemic we have now is definitely linked to doctors prescribing pain medicine because people they take it and as a doctor I know because I have to we have to go to these lectures and now you can't keep putting because when I was in medical school they always told us how much pain medicine do you give a patient? Well, enough that they don't have any more pain. Now that's not the
case anymore.
No, not anymore. Now you're going to be in big trouble if you keep because I remember I had a guy that we did 5 surgeries on and I bet I had him on Vicodin for I don't know 2 years.
Really?
The same dosage. It didn't go up, but still he's taking about 30 a week, which is 4 or 5 a day. Yeah. And the guy, I grant you, the guy's addicted, but we did a lot of work on this guy. Guy was dependent.
Right.
What are you going to do? If you go cold turkey, the guy's going to sue you. Or I don't know what he's going to do, but he's not going to be a happy guy.
No, he's not going to be in good shape.
So what are you going to do?
Let me ask you this. There's a good question in the chat here. Do you think hard drug users have a disease? Do you think addiction, that's what he's asking, is addiction a disease?
Well, I think there's a genetic component to it. Yeah, I mean, that's a real tough one. You're just asking a dumb foot doctor, that one.
Here's my thoughts on it. You don't fault a person because they've got mental issues. You know, it's a problem with your brain. When you are a person who is addicted or prone to addiction, just because you didn't pick up this disease through a bacteria or a virus doesn't mean it's still not a syndrome or something affecting you.
Yeah.
That you need the same help that a doctor provides, whether it be a medicine that kills a bacteria or a virus or a little bit of reworking if you're in your head to get you away from addiction. You know what I mean? It's still a syndrome. It's something that needs to be treated.
Well, you know what the thing is, though, it's stigmatized because people who aren't addicted always say, well, it's some kind of character flaw.
Oh, you can just quit anytime you want.
It's some kind of character weakness.
You know what?
I don't agree with that.
Willpower, true. You can, if you have the willpower, you can quit anytime you want.
It's not about willpower.
Sometimes for certain people it is, but certain people it isn't. Some people, they just can't. They just can't.
Well, here's the problem. I mean, I talked to a guy that was a friend of mine, and that's all he did was addiction. He was an MD, and that's all he treated was addiction. And I asked him one time, this guy was in his 60s, this years ago, and I said, how long have you been doing this? Oh, about 30-something years. I said, what's your cure rate? He said, cure rate? Well, how do you define cure? I said, well, people not taking drugs and being completely clean. He said, 0.
That doesn't happen,
Yeah. If that's how you define cure, zip.
I mean, you can tell the story you told about the clinic where they don't want people to be clean.
No, they don't.
In your opinion,
they don't want you to. At that particular place, they don't want you to stop.
You want to give the whole story, or just too much?
No, I don't care. I used to actually take pain pills a lot. I had an addiction to them.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, and it started off. It hurt my back, and a doctor prescribed me pain pills, Vicodin in particular, and it escalated from there into like a fucking 6 or 7 year ordeal. And it sucked. And to get off of it, I went to a methadone clinic, which was the worst fucking thing I could have possibly done.
For you?
For me. Because they let you control how much. Because they're treating you. It's a maintenance program is what it is. It's, instead of they just try to maintain you is what it's called, the MMT, methadone maintenance program or whatever.
That's essentially what methadone is. Yeah.
Yeah, and that to me, I didn't like it, and I didn't even realize it until years after the fact that They don't want you to go down on your dose of methadone. They don't want you to stop taking this methadone. They get money from the state for you to be there. So, you know, it's not about you.
When you say they, who are the they?
Mean,
the administrators or the people who are
the clinic,
the counselors?
No, the counselors are paid from the clinic. That's irrelevant. Well, it's not irrelevant because if they didn't have the money for each person, they can't justify paying these people, whatever.
Right.
The whole thing hinges on the money from the state. Okay, the whole deal hinges on the money from the state.
At least at the treatment place you were going to.
So to them, it's at least to the treatment place I was going to. It was less important to make sure someone got clean than to make sure that they were maintained. You know what I'm saying by that?
That was the status quo there.
The status quo there was
there was no literature anywhere about how to get
no.
So there was never talk about
how are they reimbursed then? Is it by the people that they're treating?
So no. So you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay anything. I was on
the state reimburses them, correct?
Yeah, the state,
like prisons we were talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. So the state pays them to.
So you have another one of these radical incentives.
It's like the prison system.
Right.
So on my last day there, I actually went in there and I told the lady, I was like, look, I've taken myself down from X amount of milligrams of methadone today down to like 2 a day is where I'm at.
Just on your own?
On my own. And that's what I told her. I said, here's what's bullshit. I said, if we're drug addicts here, plain and simple, if you go in and you say, this isn't holding me over through the night, I need more so that I'm not sick by the time I get here in the morning. Okay, here, they'll give you more per day. They'll up your dosage per day. So basically, in other words, they let the drug addict come in and tell you how much drugs they want. How fucking much sense does that make? Yeah, I can just go in and say, give me more drugs, and you give me more drugs. And they do that because they're maintaining you. They want to keep you there.
They're incentivized to keep maintaining you as a patient.
So what my thing to my counselor was this. Had you guys, I said, had you guys told me, hey, man, we're going to kick this thing's ass in 6 months. We're going to start you at this dose. We're going to have a good plan for you.
And then
knock you down to here, wean you down. Boom, you're going to be done. You'll like it. It'll be like it never fucking happened. You know what I mean?
If they had one doctor on staff there, I think that would be...
They have multiple doctors on staff there and nurses.
And none of them really... It's all about maintaining. It's so hard for me to understand this.
So do you remember your initial visit? What did they tell you was a program?
Well, okay, so the initial visit, generally 9 out of 10 times when people get on the methadone clinic, it's because they're sick and they don't have any...
9 out of 10? I would say...
10 out of 10.
100 out of
100.
Yeah, it's people who want to go in there and get free fucking drugs or easy drugs.
No, not all the time though, because it was different. I was done.
Sure.
I had made the.
I'm not saying everybody, but there's a lot of it.
I did go in there sick, but what made me do that was I was to the point to where I was done with it, regardless of if I had to be sick and this would really make things a lot better to do this. You know, like as far as not being withdrawing. You know what I mean? Because you don't withdraw off methadone. It's essentially just an opiate too, I think, but it's different. But it is. Mm-hmm.
It's a different receptor, I think.
So, but when you're done, you're done. You've made the decision. Like everybody's quitting smoking. You can't quit smoking because your wife tells you to. You have yes.
Okay. Yes. As opposed to say Betty Ford, I guess.
Yes, it was not
expensive.
Like that.
Right.
This was a state-run clinic.
Right.
And
what was the process of getting the methadone?
Well, you mean in the morning or initially when you had to get on the program?
What's the normal process for people, like for daily? What do you do?
Oh, you just had to go in there. Like they open at 6:30. Now, me as a work, because I maintained a job this entire time. Like I dealt with my addiction and my withdrawal and everything in between, my recovery, all that while maintaining a 40-hour-a-week job. Well, 50 actually. So I did all this. I'd have to go in the morning. Generally, if you don't have a job, you have to do like 3 counseling sessions a week. So I had a job. I didn't have to do any of that shit. They realized, look, this guy works. So I was just there like, look, I'm already done doing drugs. I just need this to make sure that I can get along with my daily life. What methadone does for you is it gets you out of that criminal element. It gets you out of the streets. It gets you out of, people say all the time, you're more addicted to the pursuit and the actual breaking it, the whole process of it than getting high. That is an addiction all in itself. And what the methadone program does is it allows you to step away from that part of it. You can get yourself out. Now, once you're out of that, now it's a little bit easier to focus on what you have to do to make yourself better. You know what I'm saying?
So, that makes good sense.
So
that's always why I say legalize everything, because people theoretically, you can be a heroin addict. It's not the drug per se that's destroying you.
No, it's your addiction that's destroying you.
Look at Vincent Vega.
People go to. That's right.
There you go.
In Amsterdam, he was fine.
I'll give you $500. Give me $3,000 of the madman.
And a
fucked up.
And a Royale with cheese.
And a Royale with cheese.
But the thing is, that's why there's women going to prostitution or whatever, or men steal or whatever. That's the price society pays because they can't get the drug. If you gave it to them,
right?
I think people could live a reasonably normal life.
Yeah, it's a fucked up process. Should I have been there? No, I shouldn't have been there. I should have never done it in the first place. But since I was there, and back
on topic is how they make money from the situation and want you to continue to fill that seat and fill that number.
Well, this is what I told my counselor, and she threw me out. So I told her, I said, no, I said, look here.
Well, I'm sure you didn't say it so nice.
No, I'm going to tell you exactly what I said. I said, look here.
Put it very delicately.
I said, I've done this myself. I've no help from you. I was never once asked if I wanted to get off of methadone. I was never once asked if I wanted to take my dose down. I was never once asked if I had any future plans to do anything with myself, because it doesn't matter. You can't even go on vacation when you're on that shit. You have to be there every day. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's dispensed daily?
Daily. The only time you get a take-home dose is on Saturday. You go there, you take your Saturday dose, and they give you one for Sunday because they're closed on Sunday. But even that, though, people sell it. The methadone diversion is a huge issue. That's why they dye it with a different color so they can tell when people die on it where it came from and this and that. It's fucked up. Anyways. So I told her, I said, I never once was asked any of this stuff. I feel like as a key part of treatment is that you should be telling me, like, hey, there's a future for you, that you don't always have to come here. You know what I mean? And she's like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, well, look at that guy sitting right out there on the couch. And this is my perfect example to her. So when I started, that kid was 18 years old, started the same day I did on this methadone clinic. It has now been 4 years. Look at him. He's 300 pounds and his head's in between his legs and he's drooling all over your floor. I said, when he came in here, he wasn't like that. He had a small problem with pain pills, but methadone has done that to him. Now look at him. Do you think that kid he was muscular? He had his girlfriend. He had a nice girlfriend too. You know what I mean? And
you have her number?
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like they were totally.
No, he doesn't need her.
They had their whole life in front of him, and now he's fucked. His teeth are falling out of his head because methadone's terrible on your teeth.
These are perverse incentives. I mean, that's right. The incentive is not to cure you.
No, it's not. It's totally not to cure you.
Potentiate or change or whatever.
To maintain you in that position.
Shunt your addiction into something that they can profit by, which is this whole drug war, if you ask me. Like I said, and in fact, it's getting to the point where, it's the problem. You guys were talking about police. Now the police, now I don't want to jump on this one, but it's more incentivized for a policeman to bust you for drugs because that's an easy collar. And the judge will, of course, sentence you. And they can say, look how tough we are on crime. And look what, we're cleaning up our streets. Whereas the burglaries and the rapes.
That's harder for them to do. Yeah.
How are you going to, those actually take detective work and time and effort when it's easier to find, Eric here with his drugs and bust him.
The war on drugs.
Take his car on top of it.
Yeah, and take my car and every bit of money in my wallet.
Sure, it's beautiful.
Right, yeah.
It's a beautiful, And that's what's leading to a lot there you
go. How about that for propaganda, Everett?
That's technically agitprop.
Right.
Because the arts and literature propaganda is agitprop, and that's what we are. We're arts.
Right.
Sounds like the system, it's not just propaganda or the war on drugs or this and that. It's the whole system. It's all over the place. It's cracked. Every place where there's a human who can have control.
Absolutely.
There's going to be a problem.
Now you're talking Thomas Jefferson, yes. Or Milton Friedman. Right.
Fair enough.
Read your Milton Friedman. Increase in government leads to a decrease in freedom. It's an inverse relationship.
Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose.
Okay, don't tell me. Don't tell me. What's that? Is that Janis Joplin?
That is Janis Joplin.
Thank you.
Freedom's an illusion anyway, man. Freedom's an illusion anyway.
Bobby McGee.
I think I like you better addicted than singing. What's that?
Freedom is an illusion. If you think about it.
Well, we all are, aren't we? 30% chance that we're just a computer simulation.
I don't mean in that. I don't mean in that regard.
Oh.
Freedom. I mean, you get happy with how much freedom you perceive that you have, and whenever you perceive that your freedoms are taken away, and for whatever perception, it's just the illusion of how much freedom you have. Nobody has any more real freedom than anyone else. You can go out and do what you want, but there's consequences. That's not freedom. I mean, there's consequences for everything. It's an illusion.
You think a North Korean has as much freedom as we do? I don't know. That's hard. I'm gonna.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay. Well,
that's not what I'm saying. What are you saying?
I'm saying in this country, freedom. I'm saying in this country, freedom is an illusion.
I don't. Well, that's why I'm asking you to.
Yeah, I'm gonna write this
elaborate.
Down. I'm gonna have a whole diatribe about this written out next week.
Okay. Well, I thought
freedom.
Does that have something to do with transhumanism?
Yes.
Well, good.
Transhumanism is how I'm going to...
I'll make sure I tune in.
How I'm going to totally not talk about this again next week.
Right. Well, you guys forced me to come in today. I was just watching the ball game, minding my own business, listening to you guys, and had to put an end to this.
I think the show today has been a good example of how full of shit we are, and how every side of every argument isn't necessarily the right side or the wrong side. It's all point of view. At the end of the day, it's all point of view.
Yeah, everything's based on your perspective.
Right. Whether you're a cop who's helping a cop out, maybe you're thinking about that cop's kids at home and what happens if he doesn't have a job, or you're the victim at home of the guy who got beat up by the cop who was having a bad day. It's all perspective.
Well, the problem,
I would argue to say that the perspective on the cop's probably a little bit better than the perspective on the guy that got his ass whipped.
No shit, I agree.
His buddy's helping him stay out of prison, and this guy just got beat up.
That's my point, though. I mean,
nothing.
It just depends on from what side you're looking at it from. The kid doesn't know nothing about his dad being an asshole. He just knows he's not going to eat. It's all perspective, point of view. So everybody has an agenda, whether it's a company making money or a person.
Or a personal.
Yeah. I mean...
Well, the problem I see,
no right or wrong. I mean, there is right or wrong.
Read H.L. Mencken, but I'll just give you some of his philosophy, which I happen to agree with. The problem is, if you commit a crime in our society, what does the judge have? He has only two options. He takes away your freedom, which may be a myth, according to,
or your financial,
according to Pigpen over here, or
your property,
right. He fines you, or he takes away your freedom. There's no other. Whereas the good old days, you pick a pocket, they cut your finger off. Things like that. Now, that may be cruel and inhuman punishment.
I bet those people got the message, though, and they didn't pick pockets no more.
Right, whatever.
What is it? There's a statistic out there. I'm sure it's made up, but there's so many percentage of people that come out of prison go right back in and repeat for the same offense that they went to prison for in the first place.
Yeah, if anything, you're reinforcing that, hey, that wasn't so bad. I'll try it again. So, I mean, but
I wish I knew why people would do that. Like, I just got out. I don't understand what possesses someone to do that.
It could be institutionalized. It could be...
Well, yeah, I can understand that. If, they just have to be back in prison. I get that. It's dumb, but I get it.
Well,
but why would a guy who...
Because he thinks the risk is worth the forfeit.
Yeah, the juice worth the squeeze, man. That's what it boils down to.
I think it was David Hilbert, one of the famous physicists.
That's a mental problem, if you ask me. It's not... At that point...
Well,
what can you do for that?
He had a theory.
There's no fixing
this
that.
guy's one of the most brilliant men in the world.
If you think it's okay,
how do you rehabilitate
just because you think, yeah, exactly my point. How do you tell somebody who it's baked in their brain that because I can get away with it, it's okay?
Yeah, but the punishment isn't so bad that if I don't get away with it, that I'm not going to. Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's like it's like whenever a kid gets to be 4 or 5 years old, right?
Well, cane him.
It's like whenever a kid gets to be 4 or 5 years old, and they're used to get a tap on the butt, and they'll cry from it. Eventually, they get to the point where they laugh at you.
Yeah.
Eventually your punishment don't mean shit.
Punishment has to fit the crime.
Well, that's the thing, because a punishment might mean something more to somebody else. Like if I go to try to rob a gas station and they want to give me a year in jail, that's a big fucking deal to me. That's why I'm not going to rob that gas station.
Some people think that's a bad thing.
It's also a big deal to the guy that owns the gas station who's the year worth of salary you stole from him. It's a big deal to him.
Well, that's why I agree with I agree with Eric. You insure your police. You have insurance companies take the because look at what you do with doctors.
Yeah.
If they fuck you up,
it'd be a horrible business to get into.
Yeah, but that's.
I think they would do it though.
They'd have to be so expensive. I guess that'd be the only way to do it. It'd have to be so expensive.
If you're a good driver,
this $1,000 a month thing ain't happening. I'll tell you that.
Well, it depends if you're a good cop. If you're 30 years and have no blemishes on your record, you get cheap insurance.
Yeah, right.
If you're this guy that shot this black guy in St. Louis.
Fine, set it up tomorrow.
And this is
one of those things you can't
had to pay a big, huge, settlement because of that.
Well,
and now
the insurance company is liable.
Exactly.
Now.
So that's why the insurance, his rates go up, and he's not as insurable.
Of course, he just get out of the service. That's tough.
Eventually, departments have to look at it like, can we have this guy on our force? You know what I mean? Because we're getting sued so much, you know.
Right. Well, they have to look at that too. Well, and hospitals, believe me, hospitals do that too.
Be made public record. He can't be insured.
If you keep getting sued as a doctor, they're going to kick you off staff.
Right.
So same thing.
I shouldn't have to take insurance for a police department to go, this guy's an asshole, we can't insure him, fire him. You know what I mean? If it's the only thing that can allow that to happen is somebody can't be insured, then the system ain't right in the first place. If it takes that you can't insure this guy for you to tell that he's the bad idea to be a cop, then it's fucked.
Yeah, but by your own admission, I mean, the number of cops that are what we would call bad cops are a very low percentage, wouldn't you? That's why insurance is excellent.
Well, fair
and
enough.
the same thing goes for doctors.
But you shouldn't
Good
need.
point,
If half the cops are lousy, yeah, it's not going to work. But if only like a very small percent, just
that makes good sense.
Just like doctors or drivers or whatever. For the 16-year-old that's going to kill somebody because he's texting, hopefully there's 50 guys like me who are perfect drivers.
Well, it's a little bit different than
and just perfect human beings in general.
It's a little bit different from the risk of a 16-year-old who might wreck than the cop that might shoot somebody. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different of a risk versus reward.
How so?
Well, it's the cop's judgment you're questioning. Sometimes they do have to kill someone. But if his judgment is clouded,
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I thought.
I just think insurance.
I
just mean if you can't figure it out who you shouldn't have on the force without an insurance company telling you, you know what I mean?
Insurance, yeah, but it isn't just for that. It's also to pay for mistakes. I mean,
agreed, but that doesn't fix the situation. It just gives the people who the cops fuck over.
Yeah, but how do you know who's a good cop? Because they all get the same. Who's the best cop? The guy like Dirty Harry who wins the shooting contest.
Then how do you know whenever the insurance is up?
Remember Magnum Force? The guy that won was a bad cop.
Tell me this: how do you know whenever the insurance policy is in place?
David Soul was a very bad cop.
How do you know when what?
Okay, so you don't know when. Okay, tell me when the insurance policy is in place. How does the insurance company tell you how much it costs to insure that guy?
Because based on his record, his experience,
which is the same reason you should be able to tell that guy that he's not good enough to be a cop anymore. Based on his experience, based on his schooling, based on what he's done, you shouldn't have to wait for the insurance company to set up their guidelines. The police department themselves should have their own guidelines and be able to look at the history of an officer and say that they're not.
Police departments are fucked up, though.
Well, I mean,
well, then give the power to the insurance company to say who can be a cop or not.
Well, I'm not sure
We're
exactly
already doing that in America.
Let me ask you this. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a policeman. Maybe you guys know. A cop right out of the academy, is he given the exact same abilities and the same responsibilities a cop that's been 20 years out?
Well, I think there's differences. I think if you're a beat cops are beat cops.
Yeah,
but then
that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you go riding in the car.
Right.
I mean,
because I know when I was the first doctor, and I tried to get on staff at a hospital, they said, sure, what are the privileges you want, what surgeries you want to do? And I put down the ones. Okay, fine. We're going to have one of our staff doctors watch you and make sure you can do that procedure. And if you show competence, okay, you've got that.
The difference between cops and doctors is the doctors don't have the thin blue line where the doctor's going to go, I'm going to keep you from getting in trouble for fucking over that patient. Or do they? Do doctors have that? Like, say my buddy over here fucked up a surgical procedure and might have a malpractice.
Because he drank 3 drinks before.
Right.
You know.
Now,
do doctors...
if he came to me, now I've had that situation where somebody came to me and showed me an x-ray of a doctor that I know fucked them up. What would I do?
Yeah, what would you do?
I don't say anything.
Okay.
I say it's very difficult. I don't know. I mean, I know.
So it is the same exact thing.
I knew the guy blew it.
yourself from the situation, but you knew that he blew it.
But that's what they tell you, and it's a good idea because.
But you wouldn't lie if it brought it to you, right? Okay.
Yes, I would.
There you go.
So there it goes then. There's the problem with society. It's not the rules.
Blue line,
it's the people. All over the place. We're all fucking hypocrites.
Here's the thing, though. They're going to drag you into court. If I say that
I agree.
The guy blew it, thank you, because my lawyer will be getting in contact with you, and that's the last thing I want to do.
I agree.
For your buddy.
I don't even know the guy, whether I know him or not.
So then why do you have it hold any allegiance to him if you don't know him?
It's not about that. It's because he doesn't want to be inconvenienced to the court or...
I'm going to be all of a sudden
any kind of scrutiny he might have be under now.
Not only that,
I can't.
It's not worth it.
Not only that, you're doing surgery too, and your X-rays are out there, and not all your.
It's like it's kind of.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
now.
it's like
okay.
You don't call the cops if you're a fucking. You don't call the cops on the drug dealer across the street if you're a drug dealer. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Yeah, right. if you're a lousy surgeon, you don't say things about other lousy surgeons.
No shit.
That is so much a bummer.
Oh wow.
I'm sure that exists in almost everything.
Maybe it was a mistake for me to come in today.
Doctors are shattered now.
No, this has been great. Today has been just a weird fucking all over the place show.
It's been all over the place for sure.
It's ironic that the title is The Quest for Peace when it's been anything but that today.
Yeah, you've been arguing constantly.
It's been a pretty fun show, though. Do you want to talk about Bohemian Grove before we go? I think that's what we can throw out.
I don't.
Bohemian Girl?
Yeah,
Grove.
Bohemian Grove.
I don't even know what it is.
Oh, well.
It's where all the rich and elite
you don't know what we're trying to do here.
The forests of...
Sacramento. California is like San Bernardino or something like that.
There's a big fucking. It's okay. So we'll put it like this.
It's summer camp for the elite.
Summer camp for rich people and elite people. Yeah,
where they come and make all the policy. It's like it's like
perform rituals.
The Illuminati, more or less bullshit.
Yeah, it's like Davos in Switzerland, where all the big the economic conference.
Is that what it is? Yes. Well, these guys run around in their underwear and robes and shit for a weekend out there in the woods. No, girls are not allowed.
Well, I'm not going to that stupid thing.
This is just men, and they perform these rituals in front of that big fucking owl and whatnot. I promise you. Like I promise.
Okay,
Yeah. Alex Jones snuck in and got he got footage of it.
Who was there?
They let Alex Jones in somehow?
No, he
snuck
in.
in.
Yeah, but still.
No, it's private property. You cannot go on.
He could dress up like fucking John Wayne Gacy's clown outfit.
Guys,
I'd still know it was Alex Jones under there. You know what I mean?
Alex Jones.
Do you know who else was
Crazy
there?
babies,
like
reptiles,
the Bushes,
fucking Alex Jones.
Who was there? I mean, who goes to this?
Oh, there's totally a list of. I can grab it right now. A list of people that go.
J.P. Morgan and the Rock.
Bilderberg. It's different every year.
No, it's not Bilderberg. It's Bohemian Grove.
Oh yeah, sorry,
cool.
difference.
Okay.
Same difference. Bohemian Grove. It's the same assholes.
It is though.
Well, I still say you guys got to have a show on Council of Foreign Relations. And
the CFR is a good one.
See, I have no clue. I'm such a non-political and non-current events. I have no clue about that shit.
Your listeners know about this.
I'm sure they do, but the listeners aren't the ones that got to talk about it for an hour.
They run the damn world. Believe me.
I'm sure they do.
Founding members, Harold Bruce.
Wow, they have founding members.
Oh, I'll tell you what. You want to come in and do that show, Armand, and sit here and give me an hour of your knowledge? I'll sit here and you for an hour. It sounds good to me.
Probably get assassinated.
You'll probably know a lot more of them than I will. Just scroll with the thing. I mean, there's so many members, dude. It's insane.
Earl Anthony, the bowler.
The bowler?
Ambrose Bierce, I love him. Yeah.
See, all Bohemian Grovers.
Frank Buck, he's a big hunter. Wow, I've heard a lot of these guys. How do you scroll? Is this touch?
You just two straight down.
Oh, two fingers. Now your listeners know what a putz I am with a computer.
That's not touchscreen at all.
Oh, here I'm touching the thing. Nothing's happening.
Armand's got his fingers on the screen.
What's the matter with this?
Two
Charles
fingers on the little
Coburn,
pad down there.
Academy Award winner. George Creel, I know him. Wow. Yeah, that's some pretty big time hitters here.
Yeah, presidents and all kinds of stuff.
Leonard Fires. Tennessee Ernie Ford. I'll be damned. Of all the people.
This is reading like a who's who of Scientologists.
God.
You never know who's going to be in what group.
Who knew? My God. Okay.
Anyway, you get the point.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of people.
And what do they do? They go there and just party or establish policy or what?
I think
they're members of the Bohemian Club.
I think it's more of a party like the Bilderberg group is more like they establish policies. That's the seriousness, and then like the Bohemian Grove is like the
Teddy Roosevelt, that son of a bitch.
Well, you got issues with Teddy, huh?
Glenn Seaborg, man, that guy was. Hey, you know him? He's I think he discovered plutonium.
Really?
Yeah, Caltech physicist. Yeah, Herman Woke, good writer.
He woke.
Jeez, what a game. Frederick Whymper. Oh, that's the first guy to climb. Frederick Whymper's the first guy to climb the Matterhorn. What the hell's he doing in that?
What's the Matterhorn?
It's a mountain.
One of the mountains in the Alps. Notoriously hard to climb, apparently.
Not for that guy.
Yeah, no, he did it. Ignaz Paderewski.
Ignaz Paderewski, of course.
My boy.
President of Poland and a hell of a pianist.
Pianist?
Yeah,
oh yeah.
Okay, wow.
Well, you didn't think I wanted a 12-inch pianist, did you?
If you don't, I'll take it.
Pianist.
Oh, okay. Who cares about that? All right, well.
All right.
But yeah, there's a bunch of members of the Bohemian Grove. And
I
honestly think we should just do a show on that. But
on Bohemian Grove itself? We talked about it in our Secret Societies episode.
We did.
So next week we're going to be doing transhumanism. That's going to be a good show. And like the last, I'd say 6 weeks have been pretty much shitty shows.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I've been on 2.
Yeah. Point exactly made.
Yes,
he saved those shows.
Now, are you familiar with transhumanism? Just the movement to make yourself more than what you are. People
I'm wearing panties right now.
Oh, God damn it.
Lacy.
Oh, Lord.
Of course. Ray Kurzweil. You got to read Ray Kurzweil.
So that's what we're going to talk about next week. If you're around, feel free to come in.
The singularity is near. Yeah, read that book.
I don't have the time in the next week to read that book.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the Cliff Notes. Maybe the cliff of the Cliff Notes.
I'll give you a primer.
Primer. All right. That's it.
Hey, all right. Thanks, guys.
It was all over the place. And it was called the Quest for Peace, but there was no such thing had today.
Yeah.
The quest for uniformity.
Yeah.
The quest for understanding. I don't know.
Well,
anyway,
you guys are your best when you're acrimonious. And
you think so?
Yeah, I think so. Don't agree on anything. It's boring.
Well, then today must have been anything but boring. I don't know. It's not that I was disagreeing with you. I was just trying to understand where your point of view was coming. Like
a lot of time, I didn't have a point of view. I was just trying to tell you what I thought was wrong with those situations.
I don't know. I thought you've been in a debatey mood lately with all your Star Wars debates you've been doing. Oh, you know what?
No, I totally wasn't.
Let's go back to the front of the list here. Patreon. Let's go ahead and talk about that. If you want to help our show out, patreon.com/Surreal Talk. You can donate $1 to $1 billion a month. I think it tops out at $1 billion.
Is $1 billion all you can donate?
That's all I'm going to. Let's cap it at $1 billion a month if you're thinking about it.
Oh man! All right. Well, I had planned. Yeah, billion a month will do.
We're not greedy.
Right. Join the group.
Facebook.com/group/Surreal Talk group.
Group's a lot of fun.
Hashtag 183 because I'm never going to make it to 184.
You're not plugging it, huh?
Eric loves his new job. That's on the list here.
Yeah. I love my new job.
What about your new job that you love?
It's pretty cool, man. I get to work on stuff.
What was your first week like?
It was a little bit of learning, but a
little bit of learning.
It was.
You played. Let's talk about some of the stuff you learned this week. You learned that you actually can work a mouse and keyboard to play a game.
Yeah.
You learned about some of the newest things in esports and what we've got coming. You didn't learn a lot this week, did you?
I did, though.
You learned more about the office environment than.
Yeah. I get myself situated with everything.
It's been fun having you here, though. So, future will be pretty cool. Also, we're not going to have a show. I think we've talked about this before. On the 21st of October.
Right.
We might record one earlier that week. I don't know. I'm not promising anything. Didn't you say are you going to be out of town on a weekend?
Yeah, I'll be out of town on the 6th. It's my 10th anniversary with my wife, so I will not be.
Let's try to. We got time. Let's see if we can't that week do a show during the week.
During the week.
And
that
stream
week.
it.
We totally have time.
We'll do that for that
just
show.
do it and then stream it on Saturday, so we just won't be able to talk to the people, but they'll be able to watch it.
Well, I mean that's a thought too.
You know what I mean? They can watch it.
What do
live.
you guys think? Do it live?
We can watch it live. We can watch ourselves live.
Comment on it?
And comment on it. God,
we'll be in the middle of a tournament. We won't be able to do that.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Anyway. All right. We're rambling. We'll catch y'all next week. This has been Surreal Talk, Line of Media, FM, blah, 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 blah.
Definitely.
All right. Recording is over. Fucking Armand comes in. He's like, I can't sit on the sideline anymore.
Right.
Love it. That's funny. Not only did he one time had to come in and be like, hey, opinion. And then next time, I'm coming in sitting in. I like it. I don't care.
Armand.
He's a character. And you still haven't heard the prank call yet, have you?
No.
I'm going to play that live on the air right now.
Let's do it.
I'm going to. Hold on. Let me get this saved.
He's probably watching going, these motherfuckers.
Armand, I'm locking the door. You can't stop this.
Yeah, you can. I'll go start pulling wires in the network room.
Shit. That might be locked. All right, let me get this raw shit saved here. Raw audio. What's today's date? 17th?
I think so.
9/17/17. All right, let me find this shit real quick. It's so worth it. Here's the thingy.
It says the thingy.
This is beautiful too. It's one of the things I'm most proud of in my life for creating.
What?
This prank call. Hang with me here just a second. I actually connect up to the server, put in my password. We didn't rate the show today.
5. What do you think?
Probably about that. Okay. Is this coming through your headphones?
I hear nothing.
Me either. All right, hold on. I'm going to go over here and check this out. Just a sec. Let's try this.
It's loud, though, but yeah.
Turn it down a little.
This is a little extra for all you Armand folk.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, Studley.
Who's this?
Betty Grovenstein. Are you feeling horny?
Good.
I just need to talk dirty with you. My large Jewish body needs some lovin'. So what do you look like?
Get the fuck.
Who is this?
Betty Grovenstein.
Betty Grovenstein? Do I
Yes.
know you?
Yes. So how big are your genitals?
Reasonably big, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
buddy.
sizzling like a latke right off the pan.
Do you know who I am?
Oh, yeah.
How did you get my number?
I'm all hot and sweaty like a gefilte fish. Are you touching yourself?
No, I'm driving, actually. I'm on Ventura Boulevard in L.A.
Oh. Are you feeling horny?
Well, yeah, right now I am, yeah. I wasn't a minute ago, but now I am.
So do you miss the taste of a woman?
Yes, I do, yeah.
So what do you want me to do to you?
I don't know. What do you look like?
So how big are your genitals?
Oh, I don't know. In centimeters or what?
I'm all clean shaven like a 13-year-old boy at his bar mitzvah.
Well, yeah.
I'm all
something.
dripping like a Hanukkah candle.
I take it you're Jewish.
Yes.
Ah, well, that's good. I like Jewish women.
My large Jewish body needs some lovin'.
Oh, yeah? Where do you live?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm calling from the Jewish sex hotline?
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Okay.
The question on everyone's mind is the Passion of the Christ anti-Semitic?
I just slipped that one in there.
Is it? I don't know. I guess it probably would be. Yeah, I consider it that, yeah.
He'll say anything.
Yeah.
My
It's been a while
vagina?
since I've seen it.
I'm all clean shaven like a 13-year-old boy at his bar mitzvah.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's nice.
Ew, I just queefed like a big Jewish giraffe.
What the fuck?
Well, how would you describe yourself?
I'm
Oh,
really
why is that?
32,
What?
but let's just say I'm, 17.
17.
17. I'm a double D, huge, big breast, brown nipples. I'm about 5'2", 195 pounds, a Hebrew nose, and brown curly hair.
Okay.
Okay.
My large Jewish body needs some lovin'.
Well, sorry, if you were in L.A., that might be doable.
What, are you gay?
No, I'm just not in the same area as you, I don't think.
Stop being a limp dick.
Well, okay.
I just need to talk dirty with you.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead.
So what do you want me to do to you?
Well, I hadn't considered this. Right now, I could, have you lick me up and down. That'd be nice. Start at the feet and move up and down.
Bye, cutie.
That's where I said, nope,
Okay,
I'm
so
done.
long. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Were you the voice?
No, I found one of those soundboards where you can just play the sounds, and I was on that shit. I fucked around with it before, familiarized myself with where all the conversational shit was.
Right.
Called him on the phone, had the phone held up to the thing, and I'm just hitting buttons, playing this whole conversation and recording it.
God, in front of everybody?
A couple people, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, this was about 1.5 2 years ago. It's made the rounds around here. It's been played probably 1,000 times in the office. We got another one of them. I got another one of the guys. I called his Kevin Federline, like all G'd out, like, what's up, motherfucker? And just bitched him, like turned him into a bitch.
Just K-Fed.
But I'm not gonna. It doesn't really make any sense to this audience. But Armand, one I found quite relevant.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he was on it. As soon as he's like, yeah, you can lick me up and down. I'm like, no, I'm out of here.
Yep.
No more of this shit. This just got strange. Anyway.
You ready to kill a stream?
Yeah, that's about it. It was a soundboard, Brian. It was. It was quite savage. Thank you, Scudian. All right. Let's kill it. We'll see you all next week talking transhumanism, not to be confused with transsexualism, pansexualism.
Transgenderism.
Nothing like
Transmission.
that. Enough of those jokes. That's not what it is. It's
Translucent.
It is. It's translucent.
Trans.
Anyway, catch you guys.
Trans-Siberia.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah.
Catch you all next week.
I was trying to just come up with as many trans as I could.
Transaxle, transmission,
Transaxle, I said transmission.
transfax, transperion.
Transperion. There you go.
All right.